Hello, doctors, students of homeopathy, and friends of homeopathy. Today is the 1718th day of uninterrupted daily webinar of IFPH, and today's our speaker is Dr. Padmapriya Nair from UK. Dr. Padmapriya Nair, practicing at UK since 2010, she do have 26 years of clinical experience. She is very familiar for us. She is the great shining person at IFPH seminars, webinars. She do have proficiency in presenting sessions in Hindi, English, and Malayalam. And today he is going to speak about headache and homeopathic management. Doctor, you can present the session.
Hello.
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Am I visible?
Yeah, you are.
Okay. Okay, fine. Okay, so namaste to all the Hindi audience, and very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all the international audience present here today. So thank you very much, Dr. Binduraj, for those kind words on introducing me. So let me begin my session today on headache. Honestly, this topic itself was a headache for me because I believe headache management of headache in homeopathy is one of the most toughest challenge that we meet in our day-to-day practice, because I have personally experienced that, for example, if a patient is coming with, say, leg pain, or let's say a gastric problem, or let's say a skin problem, we can confidently prescribe and we can give ourselves the time to wait and watch. But headache is always a challenge because the patient expects immediate relief, quick relief. So we need to be very, very clever to understand the state of the patient, and we have to be very apt in our prescription. So I think headache is one topic wherein we all homeopaths should be a master, because it's very common. Headache is very common. It's just present, at least I believe, almost 5 to 7% of our daily patients do come to us just for headache. So I have tried my best to share my clinical experience in the best possible way. As I said, it was very challenging, very difficult for me. So I would like to share my PPT, and Dr. Binduraj, if you can just help me to understand if my PPT is visible. Just give me a minute. Okay, is this visible, Dr. Binduraj?
Yeah, it's started screen sharing.
Okay, you can clearly see the slide, isn't it?
No, slide is not visible. It's just share. It's starting.
Is this visible now?
No, it's just
Okay,
buffering.
let me know when it starts, so that I can. Is it clear now?
No.
Okay, I will try doing that. I think it's not a very good lucky day for me today. We begin a little late because the Hindi host disappeared for a few seconds, and that kind of delayed, and now my PPT is also not behaving good with me. Is this visible now?
No. It's only it's still buffering.
Just give me a second. Okay, I'll take another just 2 minutes to see if this is visible or not. If not, I'll start directly talking on this because we don't want to waste our time on. Is that all good?
No.
Oh, that is a bit strange because from my end, I can see that the screen is being shared.
Has started screen sharing. That's the thing we are getting.
So what can you see on the
But
screen
the
from my
icon,
end?
that icon was only just buffering signal was only visible for me.
Oh, that is a bit strange. Let me again stop, because for me it says your screen sharing has started and the seconds have been visible. Okay. Is this visible now?
Yeah, now it is.
Okay. Also, if you can check if the screens are moving.
Management of headache with homeopathic remedies is the caption, and you can make it full screen if you need.
Yeah, but is this moving? Is it
Yeah, it's
moving?
moving. It's moving.
Okay. Yeah, so it's all clear, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it full screen now?
No, it's not. Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. Is it full screen now?
Yeah, it's now.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so talking about management, as I said, this is one of the topics that we all need to master. And honestly, with all these years of experience, I am still struggling to understand this more and understand how to manage it in my clinic. But today I'll share my experiences. But before I share, I would like to start by giving all my salutations to all the masters of homeopathy, because whatever I have today to share is nothing but was been given by the masters. It's all the teachers who have taught me, it's all the books that I have read, of course, the great master Dr. Hahnemann. So all the salutations to all the masters who have trained me. And the most important person is my own father. It was him who instilled this passion of homeopathic science into me. He made me sit in his clinic right from the tender childhood days of age 7 or 8, and he made me sit like an assistant. And that's when he started kind of teaching me what this science is for mankind. So great reverence and salutations to him. And this is another great person I have met in my life, Dr. Milind Rao. He was a very, very great practitioner in Mumbai. He was one person who taught me all those blanks, all those gaps which my father could not spare time and teach me. So whatever was left incomplete from my father was been taught by this. I believe he is my homeopathic mother. So reverence to this great man as well. So let's understand what homeopathy, no, what headache is all about. So as said, headache is, we need to understand this basic things. It's nothing but the pain that is there on the head and or the upper neck, the back of the neck. So this is nothing but the headache. But where is this coming from? So we need to understand, we all believe head is nothing but the brain, but actually the brain tissues do not have this pain, so we get more of the pain. Just a minute, there's some disturbance on my end. Yeah, so the brain tissue, oh, is it visible?
Yes, it is. Yes,
Hello?
it is.
Oh, I can't see my own slide. Sorry. Yeah, so the brain tissue itself is not pain sensitive. So all the pain sensitive structures are the scalp, the meninges, blood vessels, muscles, and the cranial nerves. So when we listen to this symptom, headache from the patient, we need to understand those issues with scalp, meninges, or the blood vessels, or the nerves. Okay. Oh, I'm not able to move the slides. Just give me a. Okay, so the most important thing is, this is what I have, the first lesson that I've learned from my own father about headache management. So as I said, I used to sit with him during those tender years, and I was not qualified as a homeopath. I was in my school days, then I went for my higher school, and then I went to the medical college. And before I could complete my graduation as a homeopath, I was there in his clinic as his assistant. So during those days, my father was a very ardent homeopath, and he used to be there every day of the year except those 10 days when he used to go for a pilgrimage trip. So only those 10 days he is away from his clinic and I am the boss there. So he used to make me believe that you're not the boss, you're the assistant. But the most important task that was assigned to me was do not take any new patients and always attend to the patients that are approaching us. Okay, so one of the important patients that I am supposed to handle is headache, but my father had clear rules on what not to do and what is to be done. So as said, he was a renowned patient doctor there, so most of the patients used to rush to my dad. So they tend to forget that my dad is not there, so they come to us. So it was my responsibility to ensure that they are being given at least some first aid medication. So in the headache chapter, what my dad explained me was, you first need to know what you do not do in headache patients and what you should do in headache patients. So this slide I found very beautiful. Focus on what you can control. So when the patient talks to you about headache, the first thing you should understand is how am I going to control this headache with my medications. So if you understand what are the headaches that we should manage and what are the headaches that we should not manage, then our actual role begins as a homeopath. Okay. So which headache will I manage? This is the most important question, which I believe, as I said, my father taught me this chapter when I was not authorized to be practicing a homeopathy because I was still a student, but I still use this chapter very important in my clinic even today, because this is one of the valuable, even if you are an experienced clinician, you need to remember these points. That is what kind of headache should I manage? So the most important thing is you need to understand the age of the patient. So if there is a child less than 10 years coming to you with headache, you need to be serious, and honestly you should not take that case because it could be something dangerous. Same with above 50. So above 50, again, this age above 50 and below 10, there are various pathologies that can bring in headache. Headache is not common for children below 10 years age, and adults after 50 years, headache is not a small matter. It's a very serious matter. Okay. But of course, in today's era, we are living in a kind of, I should say, contaminated, wherein we have lots of vaccinations, we have lots of chemicals being ingested because we all consume processed food, lots of artificial flavors are used. So there is a lot of contamination happening. So there are chances that we can forget this age bar, but this less than 10 and more than 50 is still holds valuable importance in this chapter. Okay. And the next type of question, which is very important, is what type of headache? So what does that mean? I should be asking the patient, okay, you are suffering of headache. What's happening? Is this something new or is this old? So if the patient is saying, no, doctor, I usually get headaches, I've just come to you because this is really becoming difficult for me to manage. So it's an old case of headache. So you can be safe and say, okay, fine, I'll manage this patient. But if the patient comes and tell you, no, this is very new, I have never experienced this kind of headache. So this you have to be very cautious. You cannot walk in confidently say, and I am managing this. No, you have to think twice. You have to again take the proper case taking and understand why is this new headache troubling the patient. So what is new? Then you have to understand what is new. So if the patient is saying unbearable first headache, that's known as the thunderclap headache. I have never ever experienced this kind of headache. This is the worst ever headache of my life. This is brand new kind of a disorder in my body. You have to be very, very careful, and you are not supposed to take that case because there is definitely some dangerous pathology going inside. As homeopaths, it's our prime responsibility to ensure the safety of the patient. So we need to rush the patient to the conventional doctors. Okay, that's the important thing. Another important thing is you have to ask, okay, you're having headache, what are the things that's happening along with the headache? So what are the accompanying symptoms? So if the patient is complaining, doctor, I've got fever, I've got stiff neck, or my child is vomiting with headache, or else there's too much of eye pain with headache, oh, I suddenly got up from sleep just because of this headache, or else the relatives are saying this, my wife has been talking about headache, but now she's not able to talk, she's talking in a very slurred way. So, and the patient is not able to see the doctor sitting in front. I can't see, where is my husband, where are you sitting, doctor? So if there are this kind of symptoms along with the headache, again, we have to be very careful. This is not a very safe headache for we homeopaths. We need to refer this patient to the conventional doctors or the hospitals. They need to rush this as an emergency case. So this is kind of a red flag symptoms for headache. So this is a big fat no. So if you have a new headache, if you have headache with all this kind of associated systemic symptoms, if you have this age barrier, less than 10 years old or more than 50 years, I mean, this is what I was been taught, and this is what I still practice. I try to send this patient to the nearest possible healthcare center after giving some medications. Again, my father told, never leave a patient empty handed. Always give. We have variety of medicines, we have medicines for emergency situations as well, but you should not tackle the emergency situations. You need to refer the patient to the emergency hospital ward, and you should also give emergency medications to the patient so that they take it until they reach the safe hands of the conventional doctors. Okay. If time permits, I will talk on the medications in such a situation. But before that, I will explain more on the headache aspect. So we will talk about the classification of headache. The most important, simple, very simple understanding that we homeopaths should have is primary headache and secondary headache. So what is primary headache? So in the primary headache, you do not have to worry too much. The disorder is the headache itself. Okay, so headache is the problem. Head is a problem of headache. Okay, so secondary headache, how is this different? There is a definite underlying disorder. So whenever we are talking about I was talking about the red flag or the most important dangerous, so-called dangerous headache is most of the secondary headache. So there is some disorder, some issue going on inside. So we have to understand we are not handling a secondary headache, we are handling a primary headache. So let's understand primary headache. Almost 98% of the headaches of the patients that come to us are primary headaches. And this is very, very, very common. Today, as I said, most of the patients who are coming to us needs help with headache. And there are three types of primary headache. One is tension type headache, which is almost 60 to 80% of the patients comes with tension type headache. Second is a migraine type headache. And the third is a cluster type headache. Cluster type headache is almost 0 to 10% of the patients. Okay. Very rarely we get this cluster type headache. But again, as I said, I'm sorry to not include that in the slide. Today, world has changed. When I was a student, when I was learning, cluster type headache was very, very rare. But today with more gadgets, everything going online, we have little more cases of cluster type headache. Especially after COVID, everyone have gone digital. So cluster type headache is slowly increasing its percentage in our day-to-day practice. So this classification is again important to understand what am I doing as a homeopath, because the patient comes, he wants relief. So if you understand cluster type headache, I'll be explaining more on that. Tension type headache, we can manage these patients with acute remedies. Okay, if there is a repetition of that episode, we have to think about, okay, let me try and find a constitutional remedy. But most of the time, tension headaches or cluster headaches, acute remedies, we have a wide array of remedies. We really find great results with these remedies for these headaches. But migraine headache, again, migraine headache, as I said, we need to understand this classification so that we understand, okay, today I'm giving migraine acute remedy for this migraine patient, but this is not going to help him forever because migraine is a chronic problem. I need to give constitutional. So we need to follow up this patient regularly so that he understands that his migraine will be kind of resolved only after a thorough constitutional prescription. I'm sorry about this. My slide is bit. Is this clear? Is this slide visible now?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So let's understand tension type headache. So it's like a dull pressing headache, usually bilateral, and there's a kind of tightening pain. Okay, very, very tightening pain. And if you understand from the patient, they will clearly say it's just started, it's been there for half an hour or 1 hour, it comes and goes. It's not every time, maybe once or twice in a week I have this. When I have to go for business presentations or if there is a submission of my article, I do come up with this. So as the word says, this is tension, this is stress, this is lot of work, this is lot of hard work. And as I initially said, we have lots of this headache coming to our clinic, tension type headache. Uh, So what are we doing with them? So the basic remedies, I am sure we do not have time, so I'm not going with the details of these remedies. And these are very common remedies we all are aware of. So I'm just rushing with this. These are the basic. Of course, with more prescriptive totality, you might have more remedies coming up with your patients. But these are the basic. Gelsemium, Nux vomica, Semicifuga, Bryonia, Ignatia. These ones are very, very good for this kind of tension type headaches. As I said, acute remedies, very quick relief, very assured relief in this kind of prescriptions. The second type headache, as I said, migraine headache, 12 to 15% of the population, unilateral, and this has got very severe headaches. And usually there is a repetitive patterns, once or twice in a week, or once or twice in a month. There is a periodicity seen in this kind of migraine headache. And how do we differentiate? We all understand this migraine headache. There's a lot of visual, sensory, or speech disturbances. There's a kind of aura that always is associated with migraine headache. So basic, as I said, migraine headache, we need a constitutional prescription. We need little time with the patient. We need a proper case taking. But during the first visit, we need to give immediate relief to the patient. So belladonna, sanguinaria, iris, glonine, natramur, and spigelia. These are some of the remedies that definitely are going to be very helpful for our patients. So as I said, cluster headache. So cluster headache is usually on one side, especially on the orbital region or the temporal region. Usually most of the patients comes with this eyes, there's pain in and around my eyes, around this temporal area. And usually it stays for few minutes, maybe 10-15 minutes, or it might last for 1 to 2 hours. And again, there's a periodicity, like as I said, by Friday, some of my patients that come to me for cluster headache, Monday to Friday, they're working, and Friday evening, they just crash down with their energy levels. The stress levels are very high by Monday to Friday. It raises to such a level that Friday, they are completely down, cluster headache. So by evening Friday, they come to me, cluster headache. So this is a periodicity that comes. And then they're like, okay, fine, I'm fine from Monday to Thursday, but Friday, I'm back again. So every time there is a periodicity, there is some or the other associated autonomic symptoms, lacrimation, or there is some issues with the eyes, there is nasal congestion. So again, cluster headache is very easy. We have got brilliant results coming from spigelia, belladonna, sanguinaria, iris, glonine. I'm running short of time, so I am not going to elaborate on this, but these are very commonly used remedies which absolutely gives very brilliant results. Another very common is sinus headache. Again, sinus headache, you can clearly understand this is on this region in and around your orbits and your nasal area. So usually we might, at times because of the presentation of the patient, we might get confused with migraine. But again, detailed case taking and proper understanding of the symptoms will easily come to a conclusion that this is nothing but so-called sinusitis. So we have lots of best results coming from Kalibai, Cilicia, Pulsatilla, Hipar, and Spigelia. Okay, so these are some of the best remedies that we have. And another new type of headache. This is not new, this is old, but I personally feel, because as I said, from 1990s, 2000 to I'm sitting in my dad's clinic and seeing patients. And now today, when I'm independently practicing, I'm seeing that this type of headache is coming up more. Again, there are two reasons. One is most of the population is sitting upright and working 9 to 5. In fact, it is not 12 hours, it's extended to 14 hours post COVID, I should say, 14 to 15 hours. Students are extensively working. So there's a lot of posture, the neck is involved, lots of neck is involved. So the most of the pain is from the neck going up to the head. So you can see this is mainly because of the posture, it's because of the neck movement. So this is because of the incorrect posture. And as I said, we have modernized. I remember my olden days, we used to have just one type of pillow. When I was sitting with my dad, I have never heard of patients, anyone coming and saying, it's because of my pillow. But today, if you go to the market, there are variety of pillows. And there are variety of consistency, very firm, very hard, very soft. So layman means the common people may not understand what is the importance of the spine and what is the alignment of the spine and the neck and the body during sleep. So what happens is they end up spending their money on wrong type of pillow, which is not appropriate. When you are to go for pillow shopping, it's very important to see if you're a side sleeper, if you're a flat sleeper, whether you need very firm pillow or very you need very soft. This is very important. People do not understand. They use any variety or any brand of pillows, and then they come to us, and we need to understand. So this comes while case taking. You're trying to understand what is the causative factor of the headache, and slowly after case taking, realizing that, oh no, this is nothing but the wrong pillow being used. Okay, so this is the most important thing that's trending now, a trending case of headache. So we get brilliant results from bryonia, cilicia, natrimum, gelsemium. Again, the common remedies that we all know and we all can use. So again, this is also increasing. As I said, during my previous days with my father, I don't remember patients used to take medications sporadically. But these days, over the counter, we get so many painkillers, and patients do not have the time to visit their general practitioners and take a proper consultation and to proper prescription. So what they prefer is over the counter painkillers. They take painkillers, one painkiller, two painkiller, four painkillers. There are patients who are taking around 7 to 8 painkillers throughout the day, and headache is nothing but because of overuse of painkillers. I think I have mentioned somewhere down the slide. I'll go there. So what is happening is patients, anti-inflammatory drugs, opioids, painkillers, overuse of medications. This is becoming very common these days. Fast lifestyle, no time to visit the GP. Everywhere there is pharmacy, everywhere there is easily available medication. So people just consume sporadically. So Nux vomica is one remedy which I found brilliant relief. There are two benefits of Nux vomica in this kind of situations. One is Nux vomica will counteract all the effects of all the drugs. That is the first thing. And then the patient will come to us with a clear drug picture. So then we can help this patient with a more better prescription. And the second best thing is Nux vomica itself heals this kind of personalities with this headache. So in either ways, I have found if there is a history of overconsumption, the patient will directly come and say, Doctor, I've been taking so many medications and my headache is just not going. Can you help me with this? The patient voluntarily says, oh, I just, how do you manage your pain? The patient will say, oh, I take one before going to office, I take one during my break time in the office, and then during the lunch time or before meeting, I have to take one more painkiller. Otherwise, I don't sustain. And before going back to bed, I am taking another one. So the patient gives us history of over medication. So straight away, I mean, this is my hack. Straight away, Nux vomica in a 200 potency seriously helps this kind of cases of headache. So now this again, I feel this is trending more, much more, because during my olden days, I've seen with my father that most of the fathers and mothers were engaged in earning, taking care of the house, bringing in money to the family, and it was only children who were playing out. But today, the era has changed. We all have modernized ourselves. Civilization has become so smart that everyone wants to engage in sports. So we have ladies' tennis club, men's swimming pool, and we have all the uncles and aunties going for running, cycling for oldies. This is happening. This is trending everywhere. So too many people in getting involved in sports. So this is becoming very common trauma headache. So people forget they had an injury during the sports club last Friday, or oh, my son got hit in the badminton class. This they tend to forget, and they come up with headache maybe within 7 days or so, or 10 days of the injury. So a detailed case taking is very required. So even if you're, this is where, our Hahnemann has said lifestyle is very important. So even if the patient is coming with a case of headache, we need to understand how do you spend your weekends, what's happening after your school finishes, what do you go to any after school clubs. So this kind of questioning helps us to come to a conclusion that this guy is into sports. This old man of 60, I had this patient, old man of 60, going for morning walks. There's a morning running club happening here, and early morning 5 he goes for running with other oldies in the society. So this is a new trend that has come up. Everybody is physically getting engaged in wild sports, also not also in adventurous sports. There's lots of trekking and paragliding, so and so things happening now. So we have more trauma and people forget. So it's very essential for us to ensure that we are not missing out post traumatic headache. Again, post traumatic headache, there is a risk. There could be something associated, so-called dangerous things. So we do not want to take risks. So what we can do in post-traumatic headache is our basic remedies. We have got brilliant success rate with Cicuta, Conayam, Hypericum, Arnica, and Natrum Sulph. Head injury, Natrum Sulph is one of the best prescriptions which I have always used and I have found success. But if there is a case of post-traumatic, always use any of this. Of course, it's always a prescriptive totality. You choose a remedy from this list, send out these medications to the patient, and also ask him to go and visit his general practitioner and go for a x-ray. Okay, some basic investigation he needs to undergo so that we are keeping our patient safe. Okay, so that was post-traumatic headache. Okay, I'll be talking about the so-called secondary headache, but before that, I want to include this. This is very important. As I said, we all are living in a very modern world, and I found this very important, and that's the reason I've added. As I said, until I was in India, I had seen those olden days of practice where people were comparatively very healthy, healthy lifestyle, healthy life, and those type of patients that comes up and the types of complaints that comes to the homeopath was different. And today we have this so-called modern headaches. So we as homeopath should be aware of this shift, this change that has happened in our civilization, because we were totally, I especially, as I said, I have seen those olden homeopathic prescription days, and now I'm here in this present life. I was not aware of all these things. Now, recently, since past 7 to 8 years, I am with my practice continuously here in this country. I'm seeing this kind of headaches are coming up very, very, very often. So we need to understand what are this kind of modern headaches. So the first is very, very common eye strain. As I said, more after COVID, we are seeing eye strain headache. So Ruta, Belladonna, Gelsemium, Physostigma. So Ruta and Physostigma have given me tremendous success. Laptops, iPads, gadgets, everything has gone online. People are working, even men, women, everybody is working, working, working. Work from home has brought this remedies more in our pharmacy. So work from home is causing people to sit and just be in front of the screen. They forget the fact mobiles, laptops, paper printouts, everything should be around for 12 to 15 inches away from our eyes. It's the best is this distance. We have so many children, so many adults, the ladies coming and saying, oh, I don't get sleep, so I am scrolling. And how do you scroll on your bed when your partner is sleeping beside you, very close to the eyes? So that's going to be very bad. But we have a Ruta and Physostigma. Of course, other remedies also comes up. So this is one of the modern headache we should remember. As I said earlier, pillow headache. I call this pillow headache because I have made it a point to ask my patients coming up with this headache, do you sleep on a proper pillow? What kind of pillow? Where, from what, which brand are you using? What's the thickness? What is the shape? Today, modern world, as I said, I remember those olden days where the pillows were simple, flat shape. There's no fancy shapes going on, but today we have many, many variety of pillows. So it's very essential to understand if this is nothing but a pillow headache. So the simple two solution, ask the patient to change the pillow. But yes, I had this very sophisticated lady, platina lady, I should say, because she got immense benefit with platina, but she was too much of ego, too much of pride, and too much of brands, highly sophisticated lifestyle. She did not want to get rid of her pillow because it was a matter of prestige, where especially when her relatives are coming home to see that big bedroom with a big fancy pillow. Simicifuga helped her. So we have such remedies: Simicifuga, Rustox, Gelsemium, Bryonia, Silicia, Nux moscata. So these prescriptions, again, based on the totality, if you give this, they are definitely going to help these patients. But again, change of pillow is must in such cases. Otherwise, this is leading to a chronic headache. Cheese headache. I am very, very sure no one ever knew about this. As I said, in olden days, there was just milk and yogurt available in the market during my childhood days, or even during my early practice days back in Mumbai, in India. There was just milk and yogurt in the cash, and there was very rare places where you get cheese. And cheese was present in some sophisticated malls, shopping malls, but it was not used in every household. But today, recently, I went back to India and I was very shocked to see cheese in literally every house I went. They were indulging in some or the other edible items with cheese on the top, cheese stuffings, and everywhere shopping malls had variety of cheeses. Of course, in foreign countries, in countries like here in England, we have variety of cheeses, and cheese is not new for people here in this Western culture, but it's new for the Asian culture, I believe, especially in patients from India. Cheese is not very commonly used to our system. So we have cheese headaches. So there is an element known as Tiramine. Tiramine is an element which is present in cheese, which is present in all the variety of cheeses, which is present in old meat, processed meat, old wine. So there is this old food items which has got this tiramine. And what tiramine causes is it causes constriction inside the blood vessels inside your head. So you sorry, it causes vasodilation. So you are tend to come up with headaches. So again, as I said, this is modern headache. This is modern awareness. We all homeopaths should remember to ask this question. Are you into cheese? When I say into cheese, you consume cheese once in a while, you will not come up with this headache. But if cheese is a regular item in your meal, every day you need cheese in your food. And trust me, most of the teenagers, young adults, want cheese in their food. Cheese paratas, cheese rotis, they have biryanis with cheese spreadings on top of it. All the common, usually done meals are being topped up with cheese. So if people love cheese, of course, there is a variety of cheese available, as I said. So people are going crazy for cheese. So if cheese is a cause of headache, Nux vomica, pulsatilla, lycopodium, calcarea, and sepia. I have got tremendous benefits from these remedies, and I think we all should remember these remedies. We should remember the fact that cheese can be a cause of headache. Again, as I said, coffee. Here in this country, England, there are, I should say, around 70 to 80 types of coffee products available in the market. And I'm sure even in back in those developing countries also, I've seen in India, I'm sure many other parts of the world, coffee market is growing. So what that does mean, there are lots of people consuming coffee. So as I again go back and see, during our days, during my school days or my college days, coffee was consumed only when I'm stressed, when we students need little extra energy to sit up and study hard, if the fathers need little extra hours in working and they're finding themselves in a very sleepy state. So caffeine was just a push, irregularly consumed. But today world has changed. Coffee is become a routine. Small children of 8, 9, 10, they just go to the any shops, they walk in and there's cold coffee available, which is, I believe, which is more dangerous. So similarly, adults, they indulge in caffeine, and as I said again, variety of flavors, variety of taste, and we have become multinational now. Coffee from Africa, from Mexican, from South America, we have coffee from different countries, so we all want to try different type of coffee. But again, coffee does not go well with everyone. So coffee can be a cause of headache. So another twist in the story is keto diet. So when people are into weight loss, when people are into fashion, I just want to get myself, sorry, I just want to reduce, I just want to get into shape. So this has become very trendy. So one of the most important thing that the dietitians ask is stop coffee. And I have seen this, if you stop coffee absolutely suddenly, you are going to come up with caffeine withdrawal symptom. And one of the important caffeine withdrawal symptom is caffeine headache. So when your patient comes to you with headache, you should remember to ask, are you into coffee? How many cups a day? So if you realize it's coffee, caffeine headache. Similarly, if she says, no, I'm dieting and I'm on keto diet and I am not into coffee, or else I was a coffee consumer today, now I've stopped coffee. So you do not have to think about any other causative factor. Caffeine withdrawal is a reason for her headache. So caffeine headache, again, we have brilliant remedies. Again, Nux vomica and Coffea cruda. These are the two best remedies which I have personally used too much. So Nux, Coffea, Chamomilla, Ignatia, Belladonna. Again, we are homeopaths. We have our totality. Prescriptions are based on our totality of symptoms. So yes, all patients need their own prescriptions. But these are the commonly successful remedies from my clinical experience. So as I mentioned earlier, these are the remedies for the painkiller headache. As I said, people rampantly use this. So sporadic use of painkillers, Nux vomica, Carboveg, opium, Hipaself, and sulfur itself are very, very beneficial. So thunderstorm, yes, as I said, now this was there previously as well. Our Materia Medica, which is very old, as 200 years, we have these remedies. Weather can be a reason of headache. So pulsatilla is a very good remedy. Phosphorus, natramium, gelsemium, spigelia. So weather, it could be sudden change in the weather, thunderstorms. So this is bit unique, but still you get this today as well. Weather headaches, I should say. Again, this is very new. As I said, more gadgets, more digital life. There is more people using prescriptive glasses than before. contact lenses have become very, very, very common. As I again say, my days with my dad back in India, very rarely there were contact lenses, but today almost every other person is using contact lenses, and we have got those fancy contact lenses, and as I said, colorful contact lenses, and as I said, life has gone very fast. People do not have the time to go and meet their eye specialist, go for their lens checkup, go for their contact lenses change. What teenagers especially do is they are finished, they are exhausted. Contact lenses comes with an expiry date. It could be monthly or it could be daily. So if they are exhausted with that expiry date, they do not find the time to go and get the new pair of contact lenses. They might end up using the same old pair. Okay, so this has become very common. Even adults, I do not get time from my office. I do not have the time to go and to go for my eye checkup. I can understand there is some problem with my spectacles. I'm not able to read properly, but I do not have time. So they keep on postponing. They do not get the time to get themselves rectified. Their vision rectification is not happening. New contact lenses are not coming in. So during that phase, they come up with headaches. So again, we should remember about this causative factor. We should remember to ask our patients, are you wearing lenses? How old are they? When did you change your lens? Are you okay with your glasses? Did you get your, and as said, every 6 months, adults should be going for their prescriptive error checkup. At the same time, contact lenses, as I said, monthly or daily is the two new packages available. You should ask your patients, if you are wearing it daily, do you dispose your daily lenses every day? So if they are not disposing it, there are so many teenagers, so many school going, college going children in a mad rush. They are sitting scrolling on YouTube, sleep late, wake up late. They forget to get a new pair of lens for the next day and they wear the old same pair. There are so many children who are children, I mean teenagers, forget to remove. After parties are become very common everywhere. Most of the cities has got this parties for young adults, for teenagers. They go for partying. The drinking habit has become common. They come home, they are drunk, they sleep with their contact lenses on. It is not that immediate next day they might come with headache. There are chances they will come up with headache immediately following day, but if that student or that patient is doing this very often, not changing the contact lenses, not changing the glasses, not wiping clearly so many times, some as we understand, we have more autistic children also, so they do not wipe their glasses properly. Headache. So we need to get this very clear understanding of what is the cause of headache. So Onosmodium, Ruta, Natramur, Belladonna is very, very good for this kind of visual error headaches. Again, this is very modern. As I again remember, perfume was a rare accessory in our wardrobe. It was rare. Only for big events, for weddings and parties, we used to wear perfumes. But today, every day, everyone is wearing perfume. Every shop has got variety of perfumes. The rate of perfumes have come down. Everyone can afford perfumes. So perfume is just like talcum powder. Perfume is just like body lotion. Olden days, perfume was one of the most expensive thing only the rich could afford. And if we middle class can afford it, rarely we used to use it. So I believe headache was not because of perfume in olden days, but today headache is mainly sensitive patients, hypersensitive patients, as we say in homeopathic language. So the patients may not understand that they are sensitive to perfumes, but I realized this, the first case, I still remember the first case I came in this country around 8 or 9 years back. This first case I got is, this man came to me and I was working with him for his headache. I gave him acutes, I gave him chronic, whatever the constitutional prescription, the antimasmatic. But fortunately, he was a very homeopathic lover, so he did not leave me. And I was surprised as to why is he still with me. So, but he kept on complaining headache, headache, headache. And so then finally, this thing came into my head: why is this not working? So then my father, those days, my father was there as to discuss my cases with my dad. So he said, okay, fine. Now let's understand the pattern of headache. Ask him when is he having this headache. So then I went back to this patient, and this patient eventually, not in the initial sittings with this man, he eventually came and told me, doctor, you keep asking me when do I get this headache, and now I realize, I kept saying there is no reason, I don't understand why I get the headache, but since you have asked this question to me many times, why I do get this headache, I realized that there is this assistant lady who comes to my office twice every week. She works as a part-time. She comes in my office to organize all the computers and remove unnecessary folders from the laptop, and she comes twice in a day. And trust me, doctor, do not take me bad, but I get headaches when she's around me. And trust me, I was an idiot as a homeopath during those days. Sorry to use that word, but I went and told my dad, what is this? The only reason I got is this lady is there around. So instantly my dad said, okay, fine, brilliant. This is brilliant. Go and ask, is that lady, whenever that lady is there, is she with perfume? And then in the next visit, I asked this man, and this man's like, yes, doctor, now I realize. And I am also like, oh my God. So, and since that day, I make it very sure to understand, are you sensitive to strong odors? Are you sensitive to perfumes? Incense sticks are rare. Of course, people sensitive to perfume can be sensitive to incense sticks, but that's a kind of a rare thing. But headache, as I said, sophisticated, modern life, everybody is using perfume, but sensitivity of the people around has not modernized. We are still the same human beings. We carry the same sensitivity level. So the same hypersensitive patient going to the office, but this lady coming in with lots of perfumes, even lifts, I mean, there are so many places where you just get a whiff of perfume, escalators or shopping malls or restaurants. So hypersensitive patients who are exposed to these perfumes do come up with headaches. So do not have to think about many other reasons. This is, of course, we cannot tell him to get rid of the other person. The only thing is we have to give him this best remedies that we have in this list. Okay, so what is the time, Dr. Binduraj? Do we have little more time?
Yeah, we are having 9 more minutes.
Okay, I'll quickly run through this last 5 minutes.
I think, yeah, 5 minutes more.
Yeah, just 5 minutes. Yeah,
Someone need to
will not
interact.
take.
Yeah.
Yeah, so because this is a very huge topic, ideally speaking, this session, this is secondary headache. This should take another one session, but I'll just run through it. So this is secondary headache. As I said, this is red flag. Red flag means you have to put your sensors on alert and you saying, I'm not going to manage this patient, but I will prescribe this patient and I will send this patient to the next, the nearby local conventional doctor. So you have to see for systemic symptoms, as I have mentioned before, vomiting, headache, loss of consciousness or slurred speech, or there is sudden onset. Suddenly, if this patient comes up with any symptoms. So these are the red flags which should put you on alert that, okay, stop case taking. You are not doing any kind of case taking because this patient has got all these symptoms, which is talking about secondary headache. So I'm not going to indulge more with this patient. I have to send this patient immediately to the hospital. So sudden head, I have discussed about this thunderclap headache, sudden headache. This could be venous thrombosis or subarachnoid hemorrhage. So in this remedy, as I said, we do not send our patients empty-handed. We have these remedies for every situation in our life. So if you see, it could be a thunderclap. The patient is screaming, I never had this headache. This is the worst headache of my life. Like this, if the patient is screaming, pick up a remedy from this list. Belladonna sanguinaria or Spigelia Viratrum viridae is very, very good for this kind of headache. Natrum mur glonime. I have always done this 30 potency. Ask the patient to take it in water doses around for half an hour until you reach the hospital, until you're with a safe doctor. Keep taking these medications. Our remedies help them to prevent, to get into the worst state of pathology. Subarachnoid hemorrhage, again, we cannot understand this. There was this great Indian, whom should I say, personality. His name was Sadhguru. He was in the news all over the world. He had this, and the only symptom he was complaining, he was in some session, he was busy with his own people around. He had lots of commitments to, he failed to go to the doctor. The only thing he had was throbbing headache, and he kept on taking painkillers and he did not go and visit the doctor. By the time he went to the doctor, fortunately, subarachnoid hemorrhage was diagnosed. So again, it could be any reason, so we do not know. But if you are aware, there is if the patients are showing symptoms of subarachnoid hemorrhage, arnica is the very best remedy. Arnica, glonine, opium, arnica is absolutely brilliant. As I said, olden days with my dad, we the economic state lifestyle back in Mumbai was not very good. So we had more non-affordable, economically poor people. So people used to be reluctant going to the hospital. So my dad used to work immensely with arnica and opium, and they used to convince them, go to the hospital. And even if they are hospitalized, continue with your arnica, opium, and helleborus. These three remedies have seen immense success rate. Unfortunately, in this country, too much of sophistication. Nobody comes with these complaints to me. They all rush to the emergency because of awareness, because of knowledge. They know this is a bad headache, let me run. But wherever you are, if you get this kind of symptoms and this, if you think this could be a hemorrhage, internal bleeding happening inside the brain, please help your patients with arnica, opium, helleborus, and the ones in the list. Same with tumors. We have patients, as I said, those days patients used to come and say, we do not afford the money. My husband is diagnosed with a space occupying lesion inside the brain. What can be done? Or else we have patients coming, the patient is in the hospital, he's been given good medical care, there is this space occupying, but he's still complaining of tumor, he's complaining of residual headache. The acute crisis was managed by the conventional doctors, but there's residual complaints. It could be any nervous problem, or it could be loss of consciousness. The patient just stares at you. The legs are not moving, the cold limbs, cold extremities. It could be any of the residual pain, any of the residual headache. But we have our Helleborus, Conium, and Calcarea fos works brilliant in case of space occupying lesions. You do not stop the conventional treatment, you continue the conventional treatment, but prescribe this remedy to your patients. Same with meningitis, you do not do anything with meningitis. Straight away, rush to the emergency hospital. But send him with Helleborus or Gelsemium or Stramonium or Bryonia or Apis. Again, intracranial hypertension, these are some of the remedies. You keep prescribing this, ask the patient to continuously take water doses of this until he is absolutely out and safe from the hospital. Okay, I've covered this slide. So the summary is headache. You have acute headache, which you can manage with your basic acute remedies. You have chronic, which again, there are two things in chronic you have to remember. You first manage the acute pain with the acute remedies, then slowly bring the patient to a constitutional prescription so that he's done and dusted with his headache episodes. And then the third is a migraine type of headache, which again, you are managing it only with the constitutional prescription, but you need the set of acute prescriptions ready to manage his acute episodes. Okay, so that is a summary. And of course, the second is the headache, which you do not touch. If at all I get an opportunity in the future, I will talk about the remedies, what comes in between before the migraine treatment, because migraine patients, when they come to us, most of them are loaded with painkillers, so we do not get a clear drug picture. So we need to give them some remedies which will also manage their pain at the same time, that will help us get rid of all those bias in the drug picture. So their patients will come up with little less pain and they will come up with more clear drug picture, and then we move on to migraine. So there is a list of remedies that we can use. Those are some rare remedies, some organ specific remedies. If ever I get a chance, I'll come back later and we'll talk on that. Okay, with that, thank you very much, and I think I have left some little time for some questions. Thank you very much for your attention and kind listening.
Thank you, Doctor. We are not having enough time to interact with the persons here, but I am welcoming Dr. Ram Pravesh sir for a fast question.
Thank you, Dr. Bindu Rajji. Namaskar, Dr. P. Sir, Dr. Kalyan Surya, President webinar. Our congratulations, Dr. Nair Madam. Very nice presentation, excellent session.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Management of headache with homeopathic medicine. So there are main cause of headache. Condition.
Sorry, we are having some network issue. So we had a whirlwind tour on headache, and very curious some headache, type of headache, cheese headache, caffeine headache, painkiller headache, lot of names you mentioned.
Perfume
and it's
headache.
curious.
Do not forget perfume headache.
Yeah, sure. Prescription headache, everything. It's great, and it was very vivid. And on behalf of IOPH, I thank you, doctor, for this wonderful session. Do come again. We need more to add. We need a lot of persons to interact with you. Next time we will do that. So it's time to conclude. On behalf of IOPH, I am thanking everyone presented here. listened here. I thank you all on behalf of IOPH.